Introduction. After 7 rich decades of loving, giving, growing, and becoming, you've arrived at a season that not everyone gets to see. A season that doesn't ask you to hustle harder, but invites you to breathe deeper. This isn't a time for striving. It's a time for softening, for releasing. You've spent much of your life being there for others, your children, your loved ones, your community. But what if now is the moment to turn that same care inward? What if peace, joy, and freedom aren't things to pursue, but quiet truths already waiting beneath the layers, ready to be uncovered in today's reflection? We'll explore 8 meaningful things women over 70 can release not out of loss, but out of love. This process isn't about giving things up, it's about making space. Space for calm, for clarity, and for a life that truly feels like yours. And if you've ever wondered whether it's too late to live life on your terms, let me remind you gently, this is exactly the right time. Let go of the clutter that crowds your peace over the years you've gathered. Treasures, keepsakes, letters, photos, souvenirs, thoughtful gifts, all pieces of the beautiful life you've lived. Each shelf in your home holds echoes of your past, the places you've been, the people you've loved, the stories you've carried. But there comes a gentle turning point. Often after 70, when it's time to ask yourself, do all of these things still bring me comfort? Or are some simply adding weight to my days? What begins as memory keeping can slowly become a quiet burden. Cabinets overflow drawers, jam closets become time capsules, and you might find yourself feeling tired not because of your schedule, but because of what surrounds you. This isn't about being messy. It's about the emotional weight of things. It's about how physical clutter can cloud our inner peace. Letting go of what no longer serves you isn't an act of forgetting. It's a choice to honor who you are today, not just who you once were. It's about making space for calm, choosing simplicity over obligation, and letting your home reflect the lightness you now deserve. You don't need to start big. Begin with just one drawer, one shelf, one small corner. Let it be a loving process, not a rushed one. You're not discarding your past. You're simply choosing what to carry forward and giving yourself room to breathe. As you sort through each item, go slowly. Take your time. Hold each object with care. Ask yourself gently, do I still need this? Do I truly want this? Or am I simply afraid to let it go? That hesitation is human. But just beyond that, fear is a quiet kind of freedom. When you choose to release what no longer supports your life, you create space not only in your home, but deep within your heart. And here's something to hold on to. Many of the things you no longer use could bring warmth to someone else. A cozy quilt, spare dishes, an old radio that still hums a familiar tune. These aren't just items, they're opportunities to extend comfort outward. Giving them away isn't wasteful. It's a way of sharing love in a new direction. At this point in your life, less doesn't mean empty, it means calm. It means spaciousness. It means clearer thoughts and deeper breaths. You've earned that serenity, let your surroundings reflect it. 2. Let go of relationships that leave you drained. You've worn many hats throughout your life. Mother, sister, wife, friend, caretaker, peacekeeper. You've held space for others when no one held it for you. You've shown up through your own exhaustion. You've carried more emotional weight than most will ever know. That commitment, that compassion, it's admirable. But now it's time to speak a quiet truth. Not everyone who's been part of your past needs to be part of your future. Relationships aren't just built on shared years. They're sustained by emotional wellness. So at this stage, the question isn't how do I keep everyone satisfied? It becomes, does this connection nourish my soul? Does this person truly value who I am now? Some people lift your spirits just by hearing their voice. Others leave you feeling overlooked or emotionally small. The signs may be subtle, constant interruptions, guilt-laden conversations, or the absence of care when you need it most. Releasing those dynamics doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. It means honoring the sacredness of your emotional energy. It means you're no longer willing to shrink for someone else's ease. This doesn't require dramatic goodbyes. Sometimes it means choosing distance. Sometimes it means limiting your energy, offering only what you can without depleting yourself. It may mean saying no without guilt, or keeping certain conversations light, knowing that your peace matters more than their approval. You can still care deeply and know with clarity that their role in your life must shift. That's not giving up on love, it's choosing to love yourself better. That is wisdom. You deserve relationships that uplift you. You are worthy of companionship that feels like warmth and truth, of people who see your heart, not just your history of voices that check in, not only when they need something but because they care deeply. You deserve to be surrounded by those who truly listen, who respect your presence and who embrace you just as you are, not as who they want you to be. At this season of life, your time is more precious than ever. Your energy is sacred. Share it with those who cherish it. Release the ties that cause you pain and make space for connections that nurture your spirit. Because love, the real kind, should never leave you feeling unseen or unworthy. 3. Let go of responsibilities that no longer belong to you. There's a quiet belief that many women carry into their later years, the idea that their value is still measured by how much they give, how much they manage, how much they hold for others. That if they're not cooking meals, organizing events, making lists, or keeping everything in motion, then somehow they're no longer needed. But after a lifetime of showing up for your family, your community, and everyone in between, you have earned something else. The right to rest, the right to ask yourself one simple, powerful question. What responsibilities am I still holding that no longer belong to me? Maybe your phone still rings every time there's a family problem. Maybe you're still the one hosting every gathering, cleaning every room, checking every box because that's just always been your role. But pause and ask yourself, does this still feel joyful or has it become another quiet burden? I carry without question. There's a difference between being generous and being overextended, between loving care and feeling taken for granted. Perhaps the home you once cherished now feels more like a list of chores than a place to exhale. Perhaps you find yourself saying yes out of obligation, not joy. It is not selfish to step back. It is a wish to wob. It's a way of honoring your well-being. You've carried others long enough. It's time to carry yourself with care and intention. I ask you gently, if I let go of this task, this role, this expectation, what might shift? If the answer is, I would feel lighter than that, is more than enough. Let your adult children cook the holiday meal. Let someone else handle the guest list. Let the weeds grow in peace for a while. Life will go on, and others might just rise to the occasion in your absence. You are not letting anyone down. You are letting go of the idea that you must hold everything up. And in doing so, you may finally feel free to rise, not in responsibility, but in ease. You're not abandoning love. You're releasing the pressure to always do more than your share. These later years of your life aren't supposed to be an endless list of responsibilities. They're meant to be a gentle exhale, a time for rest, for reflection, and simply for being. Let go of regret and the inner critic that says you're not enough. By now your journey has included joy and sorrow, boldness and fear, wins and missteps. You've done your best. Still, if you were like many women, there may be a quiet whisper in your mind that says, I should have accomplished more, or I made too many wrong turns. That voice likes to replay moments you can't revisit, things left unsaid, decisions you'd handle differently if given the chance. That's the voice of regret. One of the heaviest burdens we carry, and yet it's also one of the least useful, because regret doesn't rewrite yesterday. It only dims today. What if instead you offered yourself forgiveness, not just for the big obvious moments, but for the smaller ones too, for staying longer than you should have, for letting certain dreams fade, for not knowing then what you know now? Would you look back at your younger self and remind her that she was doing the best she could? If so, it's time to offer that same grace to yourself right now. You are not the sum of your missed chances. You are the woman who lived through them, who learned from them, who kept going. Each hardship gave you insight. Every misstep shaped you. Every closed door led to another, often better path. And even now, your life remains worthy and filled with meaning. Let's also speak honestly about that critical voice in your head. The one that says you're not thin enough, not wise enough, not strong or kind or calm enough. Would you ever say such things to someone you love? To your own daughter, your best friend? Of course not. Then why speak that way to yourself? You have endured more than enough. You don't have to earn your worth, you already have it. There's nothing left to prove. So be kind to yourself. Let your words reflect the compassion you show to others. Releasing regret and silencing that harsh inner voice doesn't mean pretending life was always easy. It means honoring the fact that you've survived it. It means replacing shame with gentleness. It means making space for joy because you finally believe you're allowed to feel it. Starting now, may the voice and you be one of warmth and grace. May you look back with forgiveness. May you speak to yourself with love, because you're still here, and that in itself is something sacred. 5. Let go of the habits that quietly steal your joy. There are certain behaviors we adopt early in life out of necessity. We push past exhaustion. We skip meals because there's no time to rest. We hold in our emotions. We place everyone else's needs above our own. Over the decades, these behaviors become second nature. We forget that they were survival tools, not lifelong strategies. After 70, your body begins to ask for something different. It asks for slowness, for gentleness, for true nourishment. It speaks through tension, fatigue, or restless sleep, not as signs of weakness, but as quiet reminders that it's time to listen more closely. These are not flaws, they are signals, invitations to change the way you care for yourself. Not all harmful habits are loud or obvious. Sometimes they're small routines we hardly notice. Skipping breakfast, drinking coffee all day, but forgetting water. Spending hours watching upsetting news, saying yes out of guilt. Sitting too long because movement feels uncomfortable or postponing. Doctor visits out of fear. Little by little, these choices wear us down, and the effects aren't just physical. They touch your mood, your energy, your connection to the life around you. The wonderful truth is, it's never too late to make a shift. Especially now, you don't need a strict. What you need is a return to tenderness, a quiet recognition that your well-being matters, and that it's okay to put yourself first. Sometimes, start with simple acts. Have a glass of water first thing in the morning. Step outside and feel the air on your face. Turn off the television. When the noise becomes too much, move your body gently, even if it's just walking around the house or stretching by the window. Health isn't only about preventing illness. It's about creating a life that feels nourishing and calm. You deserve to feel well, not because you've earned it, but simply because you're here. Being alive is enough. Let go of the habits that slowly drain your spirit. Replace them with moments that bring you back to balance. You're not too old to change. You're finally wise enough to know how to let go of the beliefs that keep you small. Throughout life, you've likely been taught many things about what it means to be a woman, about aging, about your place in the world. Some of those lessons empowered you, but others, they quietly limited your voice. They encouraged silence over honesty, sacrifice over selfhood. They taught you to shrink yourself so others could feel more comfortable. To believe that aging meant becoming invisible, not expanding into wisdom. But what if none of that is true anymore? What if this season of life isn't a time of fading but a time of unfolding? What if you could let go of the outdated beliefs that once confined you and step into a version of yourself that is freer, fuller, and truer? You're allowed to speak up. You're allowed to take up space. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to grow even now, especially now, because aging isn't about disappearing. It's about revealing who you've been becoming all along. 6. Let go of the beliefs that keep you small. Not everything you were taught is truth. Some are just old stories passed down from a different time. Stories you no longer have to carry. Maybe you once believed that asking for help made you weak. But the truth is, it shows strength and wisdom. It means you understand that you are worth caring for. Perhaps you were led to believe that aging makes you irrelevant. But the opposite is true. You are more rooted, more insightful, and more valuable than ever. And maybe like many women, you believed your role was to put everyone else first, to care for others before caring for yourself. But now you have every right to put yourself at the top of the list. Letting go of old beliefs doesn't mean forgetting your past. It means recognizing how far you've come, and choosing to no longer live by rules that were never meant for you. It's an invitation to write new truths, ones that honor who you are today. You are not too old to grow. You're not too old to try new things, meet new people, or challenge the stories you've outgrown. In fact, growth in this season of life is richer, deeper, and more rewarding than ever before. You are not done. You are still unfolding. What beliefs have kept you playing small? What quiet rules have you followed just because they were expected of you? What could happen if you release them? What joy might return to your life? You're not behind. You're arriving right on time. Let go of the old stories that ask you to dim your light. Instead, step into the truth. You are wise, resilient, curious, and free. Your age doesn't reduce your brilliance, it amplifies it. And some of the most meaningful, fulfilling chapters may still be ahead. All you have to do is believe they're possible. 7. Let go of financial worries that no longer serve you. Throughout your life, you've been careful with money. You saved for rainy days. You planned ahead. You gave generously to others, often at your own expense. Maybe you skipped things you wanted so your children could have more. Maybe you passed on small pleasures, always thinking about what might come next. And now in your 70s or beyond, you may still carry those old habits of scarcity and stress. But here's a gentle truth. Some of those financial fears may no longer be necessary. There's a difference between being wise with money and living in quiet anxiety. The voice that says, "What if I run out?" or "What if I'm a burden?" might not reflect your present reality. It might simply be an old echo from a different season of life. You've done the hard part. You saved. You sacrificed. You showed up for everyone else. And if you're in a place now where your needs are covered, it's time to extend the same ease and generosity to yourself. You don't need to justify a small joy. You don't need permission to feel secure. You've earned rest, you've earned peace, and you deserve to enjoy what you've built. Not just manage it, because comfort isn't something you need to earn over and over again. Sometimes it's something you simply allow. 7. Let go of financial worries that no longer serve you. You don't need to explain why you bought something that makes your day easier. You don't owe anyone an apology for enjoying a nice dinner, upgrading to a chair that eases your back pain, or enrolling in a class you've always dreamed of taking. These aren't signs of recklessness. They're signs that you're honoring the life you spent decades building. It's not selfish to spend your money on things that bring you happiness. That joy is part of the return on all the years you worked, saved, and sacrificed. You didn't build financial security just to let it sit untouched. You built it so that one day you could enjoy peace, flexibility, and comfort. And that time is now. If you're still carrying the weight of what if, worrying about running out or becoming a burden, try talking to someone you trust. A financial advisor or a knowledgeable friend can help bring the picture into focus. Because, sudden, it's the uncertainty that causes stress, not the reality itself. With clear information, you can trade anxiety for understanding, and from understanding, confidence grows. Let go of the guilt around treating yourself. Let go of the old fear that you'll never have enough. You have given enough, planned enough, done enough. Now it's time to let your money work for you, not the other way around. 8. Let go of the fear of change. There's something deeply reassuring about routine. Familiar surroundings, known rhythms. They offer a sense of security, but sometimes the same things that comfort us can also hold us back. Over time, we begin to fear the unknown, even if it might lead to something better. You might be thinking about moving to a smaller home, but feel overwhelmed by the thought of letting go. Maybe your community has changed. Your body feels different, or your relationships have shifted, and all of it feels like too much at once. Perhaps you've been avoiding something as simple as learning new technology or joining a group in your area just because it feels unfamiliar. But here's the truth. Change is not your enemy. It's not a threat. It's an invitation. Yes, it might stir up some sadness. Yes, it might make you long for what used to be. But it also carries the possibility of peace, new beginnings, and unexpected joy. Often our fear of change is rooted in the idea that we'll lose something precious. But what if through change, we gain something even more meaningful? What if change is the bridge to the life you've been quietly waiting for? Think about all the transitions you've already lived through: retirement loss, health challenges, moving, starting over, and yet you've made it through. You adjusted. You grew. You found new ways to be okay. That resilience didn't fade. It's still with you. You don't fear change because you're fragile. You fear it because you've lived enough life to know it's not always easy, but wisdom also knows when to whisper, "I'm ready." Conclusion. Let this be your time. You have lived through more than most will ever know. You've raised families, said painful goodbyes, made quiet sacrifices, and celebrated milestones with grace. You've stood strong for others time and time again, often without thanks, often without rest. But now this moment belongs to you, not to fix what's broken, not to carry what's too heavy, but to come home to yourself. It's time to set down what no longer serves you and gently reach for what has been waiting all along: peace, joy, clarity, and the kind of rest that soothes your whole being. Letting go isn't about losing, it's about creating room. When you release what's cluttering your days, you invite in stillness. When you let go of draining relationships, you create space for love that nurtures you. When you silence the critic in your mind, you open the door to compassion. And when you stop fearing what's next, you allow new beauty to unfold, because there is still so much ahead for you. Sunrises that will take your breath away. Words you've yet to speak and hear. Stories still waiting to be written. Gentle moments that will bring tears of laughter. Warmth. Life does not stop giving just because the years have passed. You are not defined by what you release. You are shaped by what you choose to carry forward. The hope, you nurture the softness. You protect the light. You refuse to dim. You're allowed to say, "I don't need to hold this anymore." You're allowed to say, "I choose calm over chaos." You're allowed to believe fully and truly, "I am enough." Let this be the chapter where you stop living for others' approval and start living for your own peace. Let this be the season where your heart is light, your steps are unhurried, and your decisions are mad. From a place of deep knowing. You've earned this time to live gently, freely, and with a quiet joy that doesn't need permission or applause. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If these words touch something inside you, I would love to hear it. What are you ready to let go of, and what are you finally ready to welcome? You don't walk this path alone.